Despite good performances from Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland, Dortmund lose out to Borussia Mönchengladbach, where Gladbach, with their consistent pressing and top-tier performances from some of their players, put in a 4-2 victory for them, making them secure 3 points and move on to the Champions League spot. And Dortmund continuing to look like they're not going to be able to contest Bayern this season and not even win and have a chance at winning the title. But let's get right into it. It started off well, I'd say, for Gladbach, and the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. For starters, 42 seconds in, I believe, there was a potential goal for Neuhaus, where he curved the ball in, and Berkey could not save it. But it was primarily because Gladbach was pressing them right away and gave a lot of energy. They showed a lot of energy, and Dortmund were a little caught off guard by it. And Bellingham got the ball, and he got pressed by two Gladbach players, and Hoffman got him behind him and gave a tackle, but it turns out after VAR review, he did give him a shove, and that was counted as a foul, so the goal was disallowed. But again, this kept going, and Jonas Hoffman caused a good save from Berkey, where he gave a low shot that Berkey had to stop and gave in a good save. And this continued where they won a set piece, and Gladbach are a pretty good team when it comes to set pieces, and Dortmund have not been looking too good also when defending those set pieces. And a good ball from Hoffman, guiding it in for Nico Elvedi to head it in and give them a 1-0 lead. And most importantly, though, it just continued solid pressing from Gladbach. Gladbach, Marco Reus is, a fan of pressing, and he was under Jurgen Klopp, who was also a key proponent, key person who institutes pressing into his teams. And it looked like Dortmund just could not respond well to the pressing of Gladbach. And although they did get an equalizer, though, Erling Haaland just continuing showing how he's one of the best strikers in the world right now, even despite being at such a young age. Equalizes after Sancho gives him a nice ball in, and Haaland hits it in, and Jan Sommer could not do anything. And Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho, we'll see throughout that game, and for those who did see, you just saw Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland really connected, and they were able to get 2 goals for Dortmund, although they didn't get the win. And another chance was available for Dortmund, where Jan Sommer saved a Kanji strike, and Emre Can followed up and almost got it, but Lars Stindl headed it away right at the latest second to keep the scoreline level. And it looked like I think it looks like those two teams have some tiredness, I'd say, in the way they were playing, and I think it's understandable with the fixture congestion, especially you saw later in the first half they weren't fully firing on full cylinders, but they were still going, and it continued, and Erling Haaland scoring another and putting Dortmund in the lead, where he scored in the first half again, where I believe Bensebaini gets dispossessed. And Sancho in particular, but with the help of Reus and Bellingham, worked it into the box for Haaland, who turns it in, and finishes it cleanly, making it 2-1. But it turns out it just keeps going on. It keeps working for Gladbach, where they kept pushing, and Dortmund again just could not respond too well. And Dortmund would not score any more goals that game, and Gladbach would keep pushing. And Elvedi tucks it in for his second goal as well after a set piece was conceded. So they followed up right after, where Stindl was taking the free kick, and Roman Berkey could not hold the ball, and Elvedi followed up right after the set piece, where he saved it from Stindl, but he didn't keep control of the ball, and Dortmund's defense did not protect Berkey, and just let Elvedi go in, tap it in, and there you go, 2-2. And there were some cases that I think that the Dortmund defense just, a lot of individual mistakes where they were just too poor, and Hummels, I think, should take some responsibility for trying to make that defense more compact. And they did show a few good performances, but they conceded set pieces where they shouldn't have, especially for a team like Gladbach, because I believe they're number 1 in the league in terms of scoring from set pieces. And I think it. I think Sancho and Erling Haaland were trying to produce something to get them back in the game. And for one instance, Sancho crossing it in, finding Hummels, but Jan Sommer saving it. And then good breakaway again with Sancho nearly getting a goal for Dortmund. And it looks like they just couldn't formulate something. But Sancho and Haaland were the main proponents of, I'd say, keeping Dortmund in the game. And I think that in the second half, that looked like it could be Dortmund, recovering and, bursting again in the second half, but Gladbach were the ones who were doing it. Rami Bensebaini, incredible what he did this game, I think, especially with the goal he received, where right 3 minutes into the second half, an excellent finish, and where he rounds it into the net, and Berkey could not do anything. Roman Berkey could not do anything. And Rami Bensebaini in the second half as well, a lot of work rate. And he did hurt himself for a little bit, so I think he was a little too energetic, but still great to see, great work rate from him. And this Gladbach team in particular. And Hoffman running down after breaking away, feeding into Playa, who couldn't save. A lot of chances where Dortmund gave up, and I'd say Gladbach were unfortunate in not scoring some of those. And it was 3-2 at this time, and I think that from the looks of it, Dortmund still had a chance. 3-2, there's a lot of opportunities. That Gladbach defense was, you could penetrate it, especially with the players that Dortmund have, such as Sancho and Erling Haaland, Marco Reus, and Brandt. They were able to in some cases, but just couldn't get it in. And it looked like they could get back in, and when Marcus Thuram was subbed in and a corner was conceded, set pieces again, and Marcus Thuram getting in the air and heading it in for Gladbach to get another goal and get them a 2-goal cushion. And Dortmund, no one contested Marcus Thuram for that header, and it was really poor. And Marco Reus, the substitutes that he brought on were pretty important, I'd say, because they were important to their pressing and gave a lot more energy. You saw later, there was a run in the second half where I saw a lot more energy from the Gladbach attacking players who just got subbed in, and they continued the game, and the clock went down, and Dortmund did not have any answers. And I think the main reason why Dortmund lost was they conceded a lot of set pieces, and it's understandable why, because the pressing from Gladbach was really intense and really pushed Dortmund. And in those set pieces, they just couldn't really hold off Gladbach, and Dortmund's defense didn't do much, and they got caught off a lot and conceded way too many set pieces, as well as Roman Berkey making a mistake that led to goal in not securing the ball from the set piece where Elvedi tapped it in. But I'd say the key players in what we saw tonight was mainly for Gladbach was Elvedi, Bensebaini, Lars Stindl and Hoffman and Neuhaus, as well as Marcus Thuram as a, I guess, super sub. But Gladbach, just dominant performance from them, and good, very, very good performance from them, and moving them into the Champions League spot. While Dortmund, I'd say the only key players, despite losing, was Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho. Marco Reus, not that effective, I'd say. He wasn't that effective this game. Julian Brandt was, I'd say he put in an okay performance, but everyone else did not do too well. Really, just conceded possession where Gladbach could just break away and score, and that's how they won. And a 4-2 scoreline, Gladbach win and get 3 points. Dortmund continue to just struggle this season, and Gladbach move into the Champions League spot.